If it feels as though the Frisco and Prosper housing markets have been slowing down, it's because they have. And this month, for the first time, that slowdown actually showed up in the numbers. As a matter of fact, home sales in both cities just turned negative year over year, which is exactly what I expected they would do. And the steepest drop is hiding in a corner of the market that almost nobody is watching. So if you've even been considering buying or selling a home in the next few months, this is a video you're not going to want to miss. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team, eXp Realty here in Frisco, Texas. And each and every month, I break down exactly what's happening in the Frisco and Prosper housing markets. Not the national headlines, the real local numbers. So let's get into it. Now, first up, it is important to have a little bit of national context because our market is echoing part of it and pushing back on the rest. So nationally, sellers are finally starting to get more realistic. Asking prices just fell at the fastest pace in about 9 years. It's the 8th month in a row of declines. And the story out there is that sellers have finally learned to price their home right from the start instead of listing high and then cutting later. But I invite you to hold on to that thought because when we get to our local numbers, you'll see that we agree with part of it, but definitely not all of it. Now, if you happen to have seen any of my market updates from the past couple of months, you'll know that I have been carefully watching the pending sales number. That is, homes that are actually going under contract currently, because that number was falling. And it's the best early indicator that we have. So when pending sales drop, closing sales follow. And this month, closings finally followed. So on the resale side, single family closings in Frisco were down about 7% from where they were a year ago. And in Prosper, they were down about 9%. Now here's why that matters. The same time, or in my market report last month, Frisco's resale closings were actually up almost 9%. So this is a real turn, and it's exactly what I predicted was coming. But here's the piece that almost nobody is looking at, and it's where there is some real weakness right now, and it's in the new construction sector. So new construction pending sales, again, only single family homes here, were down about 70% in Frisco and 50% in Prosper. Those are huge declines. I want to give you a couple of honest caveats here. One, the volumes are very small. We're only talking single digits of pending new construction homes. So the percentages are going to swing pretty hard from month to month. One reason for that is not all new construction homes are listed in the multiple listing service. So therefore, the numbers aren't tracked in the data that I'm reporting on here. And then number two, keep in mind that as the market started to slow, the home builders largely stopped building as many spec homes. That is, homes that go under construction before they go under contract. So, which simply means that the builders now actually have less inventory, standing inventory, to actually go pending. So take that exact percentage with a grain of salt, but the direction is unmistakable. And in a minute, I'm going to show you a supply number that reveals how much of this rather is the builder's own doing. But either way, new construction activity has slowed sharply from where it was not that long ago. And that matters a lot for one group of people, the group I'll come back to in just a moment. Now, here's something that's actually a little bit interesting, and it's not what we've seen in the past. The resale side of the market is actually the steadier side of the market right now. Yes, resale closings did turn down, but resale pendings, which are the forward-looking signal, were only down about 3% in Frisco, while they were down 13% in Prosper. And that's actually better than they were earlier this year. So the read I'd give you at this point in time is this: the resale slowdown is real. It's definitely happening, but it's starting to appear as though it might be finding a floor, while the new construction is where demand has pulled back the most. So what impact is all of this having on home prices? Well, on the resale side, Frisco's median price came in at $650,000, which is down about 5% year over year. Up in Prosper, the resale market came in at $800,000, which is essentially flat. It's up just over 0.5%. But keep in mind, Prosper resale was up 7% this time last month. So it definitely has cooled off noticeably. When we flip and look at the new construction side, Frisco's median new construction price was $805,000, which is down about 7% or 7.5% actually year over year. And Prosper new construction came in at $960,000. Again, basically flat. So prices have definitely been softening, especially resale in Frisco and across new construction. But this softening, understand, is a reflection of market conditions. It's not an indication of any sort of major crash. Now here's a number that a lot of people focus on, but it's one I really want you to be careful with because it can definitely fool you if you only look in one place, and that's days on market. Now, per the MLS, it looks pretty healthy. It's an average of around 47 days in Frisco and 61 days in Prosper. But when the MLS calculates those numbers, they're looking backwards. They're looking at how long did it take previous homes that went under contract and sold to go under contract and then sell. So it actually skews the market to the homes that sold the quickest, if that makes sense. Another data source, the Altos reports that I look at quite heavily, that's real-time data. They look at things a little bit different. They actually take a rolling average of everything that's active on the market right now. And by that measure, homes are averaging around 92 days on Frisco and 112 in Prosper. That's the number a seller listing today should plan around. And on top of that, right around half of all active listings have already cut their price at least once, and that share keeps on climbing. So homes are sitting longer and sellers, well, they're having to adjust. Real quick, if you'd like to get updates on these numbers specific to your area, your neighborhood, your zip code each and every month, I do have market updates available for that. Just go ahead and text the word market update to the number that's on your screen. That's 469-388-0978. And I'll make sure to get you signed up for those monthly market reports. Now back to the numbers. So what all of this adds up to is that there is now more choice for buyers than there has been in a very long time. Now on the resale side, we're currently at about 6.2 months worth of supply in Frisco, and we're sitting at 8.1 months of supply in Prosper. Please keep in mind that anything over 6 months worth of supply generally is considered a buyer favoring market. But here's the wrinkle that I wanted to point out, or I promised you earlier. New construction supply is actually, well, it's tighter. It's 4.2 months in Frisco and 5.3 months in Prosper. And that tells you something important. Remember, just a few minutes ago, I said that builder pendings had basically fallen off a cliff. Those numbers were down dramatically. But here's the other side of that. The builders have deliberately pulled back on building homes before they have a buyer. So they themselves are carrying less standing inventory, and they've kind of shifted their business towards building to contract only. So sign the contract and they will start building the new home. So a big part of that new construction slowdown is actually a supply decision that was made by the builders, not necessarily an indication that buyers themselves are just disappearing. As a matter of fact, I did a whole video last week on how much leverage all of this gives buyers in the market right now. So I won't repeat that here, but the short version is there's real room to negotiate. But go check out that video for additional information on that. So let's now talk about what you actually do with all of this information. Now, if you're considering selling, here's where we split from that national headline. Out there, the story is that sellers have finally learned to price their home correctly from the start. Locally here in Frisco Frisco and Prosper, well, we're not quite there yet. With half of our listings already having to take price cuts and homes actually sitting on the market closer to 90 days and more, it's an indication that sellers are still listing too high and making adjustments later. And honestly, that's your opportunity, right? As a seller, the market is rewarding realistic pricing and they're punishing wishful pricing. So the worst spot to be in is to be overpriced and be stubborn about it, because you're going to end up coming down. You're going to chase the market down one way or the other. And if you do it the way I just explained by overpricing, it's going to take you longer and ultimately you're going to end up selling for less. So price it right from day one, make sure it shows well, and you're going to stand out in a sea of stale, overpriced listings, because there are homes that are still absolutely selling each and every day in our local market. Now, if you're considering buying a home, remember that group earlier in the video I said I'd come back to? Well, it's new construction buyers. With builder pendings down as much as they are, the new home builders are highly motivated right now. And that's where some of the best deals are showing up. They're showing up on price, they're showing up on upgrades, and they are especially showing up on rate buy downs. Now, if we look at this nationally, the average buyer of a brand new construction home is getting a rate at nearly 5.85% versus about 6.5% on an existing home. And locally, the builders are definitely dealing. Now, on rates overall, I know a lot of people out there are waiting for those to come down, but the latest forecasts all have them staying in the low to the mid 6% range. So if you're waiting for some big drop to happen, there is no indication that that is coming anytime soon. So rather than waiting for that big drop, your better play might be to go ahead and get the real money that's sitting on the table today with the negotiating power that you now have. Now, I realize that this is a lot of information, and if you'd like help sorting through what all of it means specific to your situation or your neighborhood, your price point, your timeline, that's exactly the conversation I have with people just like you each and every week. I invite you to go ahead and grab a time on my calendar. The link is in the description below, and let's talk through it. Doesn't cost you anything. I'll give you 30 minutes of my time to talk through your specific situation and help you come up with the game plan that's best for you and your family. So thanks so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.